let's talk about it.
Hello and welcome back to Thicc Radio, the award-winning podcast where we talk about gaining, fetishism, and everything plus size. Today, I am a not-so-little teapot, not so short, but very stout. James.
And I am hung the fuck over because yesterday was my birthday and I decided to tie one off for 43, Tim.
And I'm the guy in the gym who's waiting for you to get off your phone so that I can use that machine, the Captain Barra.
Well, listen, ladies, welcome to the show today. We are interviewing someone who I think some of you are going to be very, very excited to listen to. Today, we have none other than the eponymous, the incredible Hornhulk. Baby, how are you today?
What's going on, Hornhulk? Nation. Welcome in, guys. It's my honor to be here. I'm going to give you the full scoop, the full tea, every dirty, nasty, disgusting detail you've been clamoring for in this interview, this podcast. Super stoked to be here, guys. Let's get it rolling.
Fantastic. That made me just a little bit horny. So, I think we're galvanized. Don't look at me like that, John.
Sorry.
I'm trying to maintain professional here. Anyways, hi, welcome to the show. Listen, I think it's, as you say, let's just get right on into it. You are, I think, such a well-regarded figure, and I think that people do want to know all the bits and pieces about you. So let's take it all the way back. When did you first become aware that you were attracted to larger men?
Oh, that's going to be so easy. I would say like Space Jam. Like, as a kid, you kind of see like a growth sequence, and that was definitely like the home base fetish for me, was like muscle growth or just like getting bigger, like an instantaneous kind of thing. And I was like, wow, okay, that's really hot. And then I was looking at like muscle guys in the gym, and I'm like, holy shit, that's hot. I kind of want to be like that. And then also, I like big bellies, so they kind of go hand in hand. And I would say that all started around, I don't know, maybe like adolescence, age 7, 10, 12, that range for me.
Very nice. And at which point did you realize that you wanted to become a larger man?
That probably when I came out of the closet, which was kind of late, guys. It was after college, like officially. It was like right as like I gained kind of like financial independence from my parents, like fully, and like won my job and was like, okay, I de-gaff anymore. And I moved to Seattle, which is an amazing, like very welcoming gay city. And so that was at about age like 23.
Oh, yeah, that is fairly late. And it's funny because I had just assumed that you were queer when we first met in high school.
Isn't that funny that we see that in each other, but yeah, we would never admit that to ourselves. It's interesting because, you hear people like call you the F slur, like as a kid growing up.
Before you even know what it means.
That equals bad, so I don't want to be that. And so then you just like hide and repress until you kind of get out of that toxic environment. And then you're able to kind of breathe and be like, oh wait, I like sucking dick and cock. And I'm proud of that.
Cock.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Indeed. I find it interesting, that point on, you say like you came out late, but you say it also is in tandem with when you gained independence from the family. And I do think that actually makes quite a bit of sense in terms of queerness, because so much of like a very traditional, like a cis-het structure really obliges you to be like, oh, this is your family, this is how you're supposed to act, because you are an attachment to your family. And it's only really when you have the opportunity to have some distance, go away from all of that you really are allowed to like find yourself and really put yourself forward and out there, which is fantastic. And it's very clear that you've been able to do that over the last couple of years of your life, which is wonderful to get to see. Thank you.
I agree. I totally agree.
And so what eventually led you into powerlifting?
Instagram. I was looking on, it's kind of a combo, I would say. I was getting kind of like hip impingement at work, and so I was Googling like how to get rid of like hip impingement. So kind of like in an occupational therapy kind of way, I like stumbled upon the sport of powerlifting because it was all these powerlifters talking about mobility drills and things for your hips. And so I was like, wow, that's really informative. And also, wow, that guy's smoking hot. Holy shit, let me follow a few of these guys. Oh, let me follow this one. And all of these guys were either powerlifters or strongman strength athletes. And then that drew me to it. That's what it was. I was just having some like hip pain. And then that coupled with just like my innate attraction to that body type kind of spurred me into the direction of pursuing powerlifting as a sport. And I feel like it's helped me like physically. I can manage occupational like injury really well now and help my colleagues out as well. So that's kind of been an added bonus. But let's see, that's really what drew me to powerlifting, was that combination of occupational therapy and hot guys, hot men's.
Well, I mean, were you much of a fan of it before you got into it? Because I feel like sometimes people, like that's part of the lead through. But I mean, it sounds like that was a bit of an ad hoc discovery for you.
It was, yeah. I wasn't really a fan or followed the sport at all. I was kind of more into like rock climbing and things like that before, in my twink phase. But then there were like hot guys at the gym that like were, kind of like short kings and really, really buff. And I was like, damn, okay, I would like to add some muscle like that. And then I would go up to like the top floor and there's like a gym there. And then I would see like a few guys there doing powerlifting moves. And so I Googled, beginner powerlifter program, beginner bodybuilding program, those kind of things. And it led me to all these, the big compound moves, squat, bench, deadlift. And upon further research, that drew me into trying to find a powerlifting coach in Seattle. And when I found that gym, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, I love this sport. I love the training style, and I love the eating style, the nutrition aspect. And it just kept me locked in. It sunk its claws into me.
So you went from climbing boulders to becoming the boulders.
One must become the boulder to truly conquer the boulder.
To truly conquer. And you like to be climbed, then?
Yes, of course. I mean, what respectable person wouldn't?
I see. Duly noted.
So would you say that your gaining and powerlifting journey perhaps came about together?
Absolutely. Yes, I'd say they are almost one and the same. Like, there would not be one without the other, for sure.
Understand.
And if I wasn't training, I probably wouldn't, like... I wouldn't have, like, the appetite for it, or I wouldn't have the, just, like, the mental, like, oh, yeah, okay, I gotta get these calories in. I wouldn't have the drive to, like, gain like I do while I'm in a training phase.
No, absolutely, and that's very relatable, having developed the appetite myself when I started lifting as well. They go hand in hand, really.
Maybe I should start lifting then. Like, I don't know that I necessarily need a hand. Now, Cap, don't you make that fucking face at me, bitch. Like, don't you make that fucking face like you think you did some shit. How fucking dare you, bitch?
I keep trying to seduce him into our world of lifting weights. And
into the muscle side of it.
The problem that I have with it is I don't enjoy any aspect of it. I absolutely hate all of it. I don't want to do it. I view it like a chore. I get pissed knowing that I have to go do it.
I love the thought of you just very holly-golightly. Well, I would love to do this, except I hate it. I hate it, and I hate you, and golly gee, I just hope you kill yourself at some point. So, with that in mind, any advice from our two meatballs here on this? How do you convince a couple of pigs to lift some weights?
Well, the best thing to do is to build it into your schedule gradually, like anything. Like, I was about to make a bottom analogy there. Introducing difficult things gradually is the key to success. And what that means is once a week, like commit once a week to going to the gym. And if that's like going to a dance class or dance church, we have like I know that's a popular thing, or like a Pilates class, something kind of gentle, or not gentle. Pilates is kind of fucking rough, but doing classes and committing to once a week is a good place to start because that gets you into the gym and it also builds a little bit of like gym community. I'm lucky to have had a really great gym experience here in Seattle and then moved a little bit away from the city and started collecting pieces for a home gym. And so I only really go to a actual brick and mortar gym once a week. But the community that I built when I used to live in Capitol Hill was really significant and helped me not feel gym intimidation, which I feel is like the second like biggest detractor for people that are trying to start their lifting journey. They'll go to the gym and there's like some douchebag like looking at you, being like, "What are you doing here?" kind of vibe, and that's something that like that's my biggest pet peeve of people in the gym, people that are just absolute douchebags. And one of the like best ways to start is to kind of look for your like body goals and strength goals. So if you want your body to look a certain way, nothing wrong with that. Look at the people that look like you want to look and see what they do, what their training mode is. So for me, it was powerlifters, and then try to copy that as best as you can. And when you don't see immediate results after 2 weeks, don't quit. The thing about lifting is it takes a long time to develop musculature, and that's also another reason that people get discouraged so early. But, I mean, the base level, start going once a week. In a month, try 2 times a week. Building it into your schedule with that gradual mindset.
I shall try.
Well, you know, what Tim? What is like your favorite? Like, do you like to go dancing? Like, you want to go to the club and like dance your ass off? Like, what's the tea?
No, see, the problem is that I am old, therefore I have slowed way down, and like my peace on earth is, just on my couch watching TV and being stoned out of my gourd.
Well, the perfect stoner workout is yoga. I mean, if you've ever tried like a yoga vibe, that is the one. And it feels freaking good too. And you can build like a little bit of strength with it. So, going to a yoga class, sweating it out with a bunch of hot dudes.
Oh, hot yoga?
Sign me up.
No, thank you.
Okay, no Bikram. No Bikram for Tim.
No Bikram for Tim. I'm still hooked on gym intimidation. Like, John, I can't convey this to you strongly enough. There was no attraction or rapport between the two of us up until that very moment, and then you said a gorgeous pun, and all of a sudden my entire body just wanted you completely. I live for a good play on words. I live for a good play. So, Cap, gym intimidation. I feel like this is something you've spoken a little bit about in some of your many appearances on the podcast. Do you have anything else you'd like to add on that front?
As people know, like many, I had to deal with gym intimidation at first when I was first getting into lifting. And the funny part is, you go in thinking that everybody's watching you, and then you realize like nobody's watching you, unless you're doing something very stupid. But stupid usually translates to like being inconsiderate, perhaps, because everybody there is trying to figure out things. Everybody's at a different phase in their journey. And honestly, people are in there to get in, do the thing, and get out generally. So if you're kind and considerate, you really can't misstep. But one thing that helped me was going with friends at first. Like you were saying, the sense of community is very important. And, from there I kind of went on doing it myself. But even now, I have a lot of fun, perhaps even a little more fun, when I'm lifting with a friend or partner next to me. Does that seem to be the case for you as well, John?
I love it. I love lifting with people, but usually like my program is very specific. Mm-hmm. And usually when I'm lifting with other people, that it's like when I go home for the holidays. Do you ever, if you're in Dallas, or when I'm in Austin and like my cousin and my brother, I would classify them both as like muscle twinks. If they had a gay, body persona. And so they're kind of like far behind, and then they finish like way before I do, and so I always feel a little bit but at least they're having fun, and I'm like, okay, go do this, or you did that, okay, go do this, and I just kind of keep assigning them. So when you're like the most experienced in your group, you sometimes end up playing coach or playing personal trainer by telling them what to do, and it can be a little distracting, but that also adds a little bit of spice and a little bit of fun. So I always enjoy working out with friends. Definitely. But some people are like, no, like, I don't want to work out with people I know. I got to get my shit done. And it's like, okay, well, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, where do you have to be?
Did you have any reservations early on at all?
Did I have any reservations early on? I think I did. There was like, I would go to this powerlifting gym called Seattle Strength and Power, which was crazy overpriced. And that's where I learned that like a lot of the like strength community is like very conservative and Republican, even in Seattle. And so I was like, I don't know if I like this very much. But then Justice is sweet, and revenge is a dish best served cold, because like a lot of people that worked out at that gym were, queer, people of color, and once like the colors kind of started to come out of this gym owner during the pandemic, there was a lot of falling out that occurred. And that I was like, okay, well, that's what happens when you treat people a certain way. You get what's coming. And I left that gym pretty early on, but I still like made really good friends there, and keep in contact with some of them to this day. And when I see them working out, I'm like, oh my God, like, there were a lot of queer people in that gym, and we all kind of hung together, and then we all migrated to Rain City Fit after, which was really nice. If you're in Seattle, check out Rain City Fit. It is the best gym I have ever been to in my life. Best gym ever.
See, I feel like there is an obvious question there, and like, well, what are some of the challenges and surprises? And I suppose the surprise is finding out that people who own spaces that are populated by queer people can sometimes lean in a very interesting political direction, and you're sort of like, how did that happen? But then I will also say, Cap, in some of our conversations, you've made it very apparent that there's a certain element to the physical fitness. I don't know what it is necessarily that seems to attract a more conservative mindset, shall we say, but like, I suppose all people are kind of everywhere. Like, and I'd like to put that question to the pair of you. How do you navigate that when it comes to being in the gym space and possibly seeing things and navigating potential community connections and friendships and having to think about things like that? How do you deal with it?
Sure. So, one thing I think is very important, and it seems very simple, just your presence. Taking up space in those spaces that are traditionally not considered to be for us, I think makes a difference. In addition to that, being one of the larger men in that space absolutely changes the tone and temperature of the room, especially when, you're like a big dude with like a 53-inch chest and like a stringer outlifting all of the broccoli-headed boys texting on their phones on the machines. You know what I mean? It very much shifts kind of the power dynamic in the room very quickly.
Sis, I'm sensing a theme with your... It sounds like you're speaking from a lot of experience when you're mentioning these gym antagonists.
I try to be as considerate as I can of the people around me, and I hope to pass that deep desire on to other gym goers, because that is the bane of my existence when the gym is crowded and when things aren't moving.
Oh, forget it. And you're on your phone, and it's like always it's like a teenage boy in like shorts and flip flops on the bench. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Closed-toed shoes, at least, people. A closed-toed shoe at the gym. It's a safety thing. Like, what are we doing?
No, fully. But I'll turn the question to you, John.
What was the question?
How do we navigate being in these spaces that are not traditionally queer or explicitly for people like us, right?
That, man, it's kind of about research, and like I did end up leaving that space kind of quick, and the gym intimidation element was also, it was like there were also like very advanced people lifting there, and it was like a coaching gym, and I wasn't seeing myself get like actual coaching for paying full price, and this guy would give like sweetheart deals to like high schoolers that were like ready to do like national championships and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I kind of understand it, but like I'm not getting shit here, so like I eat kick rocks, and I online, like, was searching for more gyms in the area and in Capitol Hill, and was very lucky to stumble upon this one. And so one solution is to just like find a new space. But let's say said, like, taking up space in as a big dude definitely helps as well. But also being like persistent and like frequently like utilizing the space and like making sure people know that you're there very consistently. That's another like, oh wow, okay, I know this guy. Kind of becoming a figure in that space that people can expect. Also gives you a little bit of authority, I would say, like maybe like social authority, but also people will come to you and like ask you for a spot, or like maybe say hi to you. Oh my gosh, take out their AirPod and say hi. It also depends on the gym that you're going to. And what I would suggest if you're into powerlifting or strongman is to try to find a gym that's specifically tuned to that sport. There is a difference in gyms. There's gyms and gyms. There's like a Gold's Gym, like 24-hour fitness, that kind of thing, and then like a garage-style powerlifting, strongman, high rocks gym. And searching for those more specialty gyms that are like weightlifting specific, I think you're just going to have a better experience at the end of the day. And even though it might cost a little bit more to like join that, you're going to have like a more consistent community, and you're going to have higher quality equipment that's better maintained, and it'll also, usually it's supporting small local business. So instead of like trying for a Gold's or like a 24-hour, like trying to find like a more local gym or local powerlifting, local strongman, those are what I'd suggest for people trying to get into like strength sports and muscle gaining, because powerlifting is the most effective and efficient way to gain muscle. That's another thing that, you know, in the gainerism of it all, like this is the sport where like you gain the most muscle, apart from like bodybuilding, which is like cutting and bulking and cutting and bulking. But powerlifting and bodybuilding go like very hand in hand. And if you want like the perfect meld of both, it's called like power building. So you like focus on your big main 3 lifts: the squat, the bench, the deadlift, the SBD, so big dick. And then from there, your accessories are all attuned to like a bodybuilder's program. So you're doing a lot of like high rep, high volume accessories to build that muscle and build all those, the delts, the biceps, the back.
Once again, I'd like to remind people that we offer full video sodes on our Patreon, and we have the incredible Hornhulk here, absolutely just glistening and showing off right now. And if you're not subscribed, this is truly no one's fault but your own. So like subscribe, and you get to see all this gorgeousness, you know.
Oh, thank you, James. Well, I did turn off my AC because there was a background hum, and we are glistening. The sweat is starting to drip. So you are missing out if you're not on the Patreon. Get over there now.
So seductive. So seductive. No, but plugging the Patreon aside, John, I may just have to take you up on this and try a more powerlifting garage-style gym. I don't go to a big corporate gym, but I do go to, I don't know if we're going to bleep this out or not. I go to the Y, which is all right. It's
Yay!
The closest. Yes, exactly. And it's the closest gym to me, which is usually a good rule of thumb for me. The gym I'll go to most frequently is the nearest one. But maybe I'd enjoy the experience more being around more seasoned lifters, perhaps, in a different style of gym.
And usually they have everything you need in those types of gyms. So I highly prefer it. It's like it's a way different vibe than like a big time gym. And like when you're on vacation or when you're traveling for work or wherever and you need to go to a gym, a Gold's is just fine. It'll get the job done. But highly suggest those local gyms. It's just a different, more fun vibe, in my opinion.
Additionally, there's a great deal of talk online about like all of the injuries you can get from lifting heavy. Would you like to dispel some of those rumors or address them?
Absolutely. I would love to dispel some rumors. And you know what? I have been guilty of saying that too about strongman sports. I haven't gotten into strongman or like, do you ever get those messages or like comments where it's like, let's wrestle? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't do contact sports. I'm going to do contact sports because of the risk of injury and like my career, my like hands, my fingers, my face, everything is kind of like I can't damage that. But with powerlifting, like my biggest thing is kind of form over weight. The form is the most important thing. If your form's kind of busted, you don't have business going heavier until that form is fixed. And the better your form is, the more load you can take. And anyway,
I love the little.
I was waiting for both of you to unmute.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think I just wanted to let hang in the silence there. I wanted you to feel judged, and I think I succeeded on that front. But this has been a wonderful week here on Thicc Radio. Please remember to like us. No, that's absolutely fine.
Oh my God. And that's how you really avoid injury. Some coaches are like, you don't need a belt. You don't need you can do perfect form without having a belt, but I think anything that can help you achieve better form. So if you're starting powerlifting or doing anything that's putting your spine under compressive load, it's important to put a belt on, and because it helps you activate what's called a muscular brace. We're going to get into a tiny bit of technique here, just a little bit, tiny bit of technique, Tim. When you are doing powerlifting or anything that, like, where your spine is compressed, so that's overhead press, that's squat, and that's deadlift, you are wanting to, like, build this muscular brace to make sure that, like, your body doesn't, like, compress or, like, nothing comes, like, out of line. And so what you do, like, imagine someone's gonna, like, throw a big, like, heavy medicine ball at you. And so you're not gonna, like, suck in. You're gonna, like, push out and, like, brace. And you hold that position. You can actually hold that. I'm doing it right now. It's like a Kegel. And you can, like, breathe around that brace, and you can maintain that brace. And the maintenance of that brace is the way to avoid injury in those top 3 lifts. And you can get into, like, mobility and, like, oh, I have a hip impingement on my hip, hurts on this side of my leg. Everyone's a little bit different, so consult your doctor before any physical activity whatsoever, just for the legalese out there. But building muscular brace and having a belt on so you can feel when you're pushing against and using your muscular brace correctly, that is probably the number one thing I would suggest in order to avoid injury in powerlifting as a sport. Now, when you get to strongman, like, the purpose of strongman is, like, okay, how many reps? It's always, like, AMRAP, as many reps as possible. And when you do AMRAP all the time, the form starts to, like, deteriorate. And that's how you know, okay, that's, like, as many reps as I can do, right? That's kind of the marker. And so you open yourself up to a little more, like, a higher propensity for injury. And so that's actually why I've avoided strongman as a sport and just kind of stuck with powerlifting bodybuilding.
So all this to say, one should use protection before taking big loads.
Very well said.
Fantastic. I just had the mental image of, like, a Machoke, but it's, like, your face on top of the Machoke. Yeah.
You know, why did, like, Machamp get less hot in the evolution? You know what I mean? It's like, why do we have the beak? Why do we not have, like, the correct amount of toes? Like...
Well, I was going to say, don't you fantasize about your men sprouting an extra pair of arms just out of the blue?
Right. I mean, just like a bigger muscle. I mean, what is, like, the hottest, like, muscle Pokemon? Man, I really think Buzzwole, like, kind of takes it. Buzzwole is like the hottest, like, just
so vascular, and so
beefy.
Swole.
Yeah, he's probably the most swole. I mean, he's an Ultra Beast, so, like,
literally,
Ultra Beast.
Literally.
Exactly.
If you see the anime, it's quite funny to see him doing his thing.
I
actually haven't seen that. Actually, haven't seen that.
Oh, it's good.
I need to watch. Which one is that? Is that Sun and Moon or something? But
yeah, Gen 7's anime. They got 3 series. They are, I think, an actually not too bad quality. Like, Ash's journey with this Pokemon is a lot more intimate and actually, like, you see growth and progression for once, which is really, really nice. But the true star of the show is a gigantic Beware. So, you know.
Oh, woof.
Absolutely.
I know, but then there's the bear Pokemon. It's like, you know, if you're getting a Pokemon tat, like, what are you getting?
So, tell me, where does your foundation of mental health and confidence stem from?
Abuse.
Tell us more.
No, just kidding. I would say, that's not untrue. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that we go through as gay people, as queer people, that kind of builds you up, builds you stronger. And it kind of builds that mental fortitude, and partially just my personality. Super lucky with that. Confidence comes from within, and also beauty comes from within. So those two things, they go hand in hand. And the confidence aspect, I feel like my confidence has, like, grown as through my gym experience even. Someone asked me, like, oh, like, you know, you look great. Like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I feel like I'm in the body that I was always supposed to have. You know what I mean? And so that's where, like, body dysmorphia, body dysphoria, it kind of feels fixed in a way for me. It feels good. I really enjoy, like, how I look now. And I like growing my muscles bigger, but I'm very happy with where I'm at in my journey. And it took a while to get here, but that's, like, how the gym has kind of helped me with that as well. And it's not to say, like, looks are everything, but it's like I have, you know, like, you can check out my lives. I'm doing workouts all the time and answering questions, and, like, I am in that gym putting in that time and celebrating the fruits of my labors, and it definitely feels good to do, and has definitely dispelled a lot of that body dysphoria. But everyone has it still, like, no matter what they tell you, there's always, like, a little percentage of, like, that dysmorphia, like, oh, I wish I could do this better, I wish I had, it's like that scene in Mean Girls, where, like, oh, my nose is huge, my shoulders are, just everyone has those little things that we want to improve about ourselves, and just know that you're not alone if you ever think that, because, like, even the world's biggest bodybuilders have that. They're like, oh, man, I just want, like, bigger whatever.
Well, I do appreciate hearing that from you, especially as far as the muscle stuff is concerned, because, and Cap, again, you and I talk about this all the time, there very much feels a divorce for many gainers between the ideas of what is considered muscle gaining versus typical gaining. And I think that there is far more in common than not. And I think that experience, as you mentioned, that little bit of dysphoria that can exist for all of us, which is consistent, is very, very true. Many of us, no matter what mode we're trying to go in, no matter the pace we're trying to match, no matter the body we're trying to achieve, end up feeling in some way, shape, or form, ooh, I'm trying to find my way, find my space within this place. How do I feel at peace and at rest with being a bigger boy now, while also still giving myself space to continue to change? And I think that conversation piece on respecting your mental health journey, building community, and giving yourself some reality checks, I think are all very helpful and very important elements when it comes to taking care of yourself and not maybe going on a direction in that could end up being a little damaging, especially, as you say, being visible, being out in the space. It's good to see someone like yourself who is, one, a muscle person willing to call themselves a gainer, but also, two, having those conversations. And I think making the muscle journey probably feel a lot more accessible to people who maybe feel locked out of it in some way, shape, or form,
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like the biggest beefy boys, like big, like massive bellies, like a lot of body fat percentage, actually are some of the strongest pound for pound, like hands down. And so whenever, like, if those boys ever want to step in the gym, their base level strength is, that base stat is so much higher than, like, any muscle twink. It's just, usually what it is people have to learn technique first, and that's kind of the first roadblock, especially for big guys. It's like, I don't know if I feel like super comfortable in this space. And then, like, the coaches are very hard, like, hardly ever, like, big guys dealing with, like, chub rub or, like, pinching, like, belt burn, which is, well, or belt bite, when you get, like, pinched by the belt as you squat, things like that. So if you can and you have the opportunity, find, like, those big boy lifters, or follow myself, follow the Captain Barra, fellow captain, on those socials, and just see how we do things, and you'll eventually come across, like, these topics as well, of how to lift as a bigger person, as a thick-thighed lady.
No, yeah, and before we move on, I also wanted to mention the parallel between the muscle gainer journey, or the gainer journey in general, and the trans journey is very salient whenever we're talking to folks here on the pod, which is why it drives me up the wall when you hear of these, like, conservative muscle people who are very antagonistic to trans folks. Because didn't you yourself just go through a transition yourself, sir?
Right.
It's quite the same, even if you're not, you might not be transitioning across the gender spectrum, but you are definitely transforming in a very appreciable and visible way.
Yeah,
like,
not to mention affirming your gender identity.
Yeah, like, you're gonna look me in the
Yes.
eye, tell me that all that work you put into all of those muscles to look bigger and beefier is not a gender affirming thing, you absolute psychopath.
It's
Or
all
drag,
gender.
too. That it's kind of dragging away.
It's all gender affirming,
The
and
pump
it is
cover.
drag.
It's the entire thing. My God, I actually saw a very interesting point. There is actually a very clear trans appropriate conversation that happens in cishet culture every single day. And that is individuals going from girl to woman and from boy to man, because society makes a point of saying that. They make it perhaps a little rudimentary. Girl will get her period. She's no longer a girl. She's now a woman. And a boy apparently can come. And that now makes him a man. But there's so much narrative around, like, you are no longer this thing. You have transformed. You have become this other thing. And it's still seen as, like, a point to insult a man by calling him a boy, or to insult a woman by calling her a little girl. So I actually think, even in cis culture, they're actually very well aware of what it means to have multiple identities. And it actually makes a lot of sense to think that some people just transition naturally from girl to man, or from boy to woman. Like, these narratives are a lot more salient and a lot more clear to, I think, a lot more people than they want to, like, give credit to. But yes, fuck the muscle conservatives who don't see that shit, because they dumb.
Yeah, mess with trans, catch these hands.
What was
like
it?
that.
You keep fucking with the trans people. Your pronouns are going to be was, were.
That is
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you.
So, what kind of comments have you received about your transformation journey, either from friends or family? Positive or negative? Really?
Oh, so good. These are so good. I love talking about the comments. So, y'all know it's good to be in the comment section as a creator if you're trying to kind of grow your, gaining in the like follower count sense, or just kind of your, overall, if you're trying to like make influencing a career, it's, make sure it's a side hustle first, guys. Like, don't just like get out of school and be like, I'm going to be an influencer. It's, first of all, it makes you more interesting to have like a career, like outside of being on social media. And then 2, the money does not come, and the corporate overlords are trying to take more and more from the creators. Like the TikTok acquisition, like people are getting like 1/10 of what they used to make like before that acquisition. It's like insane, guys. So but subscribing everywhere to your favorite content creators is like the best way to improve their abilities to like make influencing more of the career. But so anyway, so getting into the comments and like liking the comments and replying to every comment to also kind of boost the comment number for the algorithm is something that I would advise creators that are just starting out to do, especially on YouTube. YouTube loves that in the algorithm. There's the comments going crazy. But I'll see some negative comments, or I don't know. It's like sometimes it's like, are they negative or are they like touching on a fetish that they have? Because it's like, wait, like how many months pregnant is this guy? Like, you shouldn't be giving advice. You're fat. It's like, okay. That usually like I'll get like the most hate on Facebook actually. Like Facebook comments are crazy. They're like, this fucking lard ass like piece of shit couldn't lift anything. It's like, oh, he's deadlifting 500 pounds with straps. Canceled. It's like, okay. And sumo deadlift. There's all kinds of things that people love to just spout off. Meanwhile, it's like a blank profile or like faceless profile or like a demon twink like behind the account. Sorry, demon twinks. We love our demon twinks in Hornhulk Nation.
Maybe you do, but
well,
they're usually testy because they're hungry. In fact,
oh gosh, they are hungry. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
That's fine.
But like, so that's like the comments that you see online. But the thing is, it's like you're gonna remember the hate comments more because it's like cognitively. There's like a cognitive psychology like element to that. It's like someone that's going against you like kind of ignore all the positive ones. And I highly encourage the thirst comments. I love my thirsty boys and girls and gender not conforming Hornhulk Nation residents. But a wall of thirst comments and then like one like this fucking fat ass like it can stick with you more for some reason. Just like it's how we're wired. And the thing is like sometimes I'll delete it, but sometimes I'll just keep it there. And people will like drag these people. And so that's like you build your own community and like it's fun to watch like my followers like tear people up for like these shitty like dumbass comments. What was the other one? Like, you shouldn't arch your back when you bench. And it's like they don't know shit from fuck about lifting, and it's like, okay, like, did you not just see me go through this full like step to like, this full setup to get into this position on purpose? And people are like, you're gonna injure yourself. So that's another like, tying back to earlier. That's where a lot of people like to kind of air. Oh, you're gonna get injured by lifting that much. It's like, bro, look at this fucking technique. Look at this technique right here, and like tell me that again. But it's usually just like the hate is almost always just ignorance, and so that's how you can kind of so you can navigate the hate online. But then like in terms of family and friends commenting on the appearance, there is like my aunt was like, oh man, we gotta go like do cardio because she thought I was like getting really fat, and I'm like, well, and I would like hang out when I'm at home, when my shirt is off 100% of the time. Like we're in Texas, I'm sweating my ass off, and my dad likes to keep the thermostat at like a cool 76. And so I'm like, fuck this shit. And so I'm like shirtless the entire time, and like just people walking around like, wait, okay, like, oh, we should go on a walk. Let's go out. Let's do some cardio. I'm like, all right, if you can keep up, shit, let's go. And that's the thing. They just don't like, everyone has their idea of what fitness looks like. And when you don't match that expectation, it makes them feel like an authority to tell you like how you could be better and how you could be more athletic, how you could fit their ideal, and it's like it gives people a license when you don't match that that perfect visual that they have in their mind of what fitness is. So it's also something that kind of pisses me off.
No, totally. It's such a conversation around when we started this podcast, obviously we wanted to start it off with this real hand outstretched to people saying it is okay to be a gainer, it is okay to be big, it is okay to want to be big, it is okay to all these things, blah, 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 blah. And obviously there's the conversation of like, how do you navigate the commentary from people? And there is a certain amount of, you've got to give it time and you've got to love on yourself and all of this. But baby, at a certain point, you got to stand your motherfucking ground and tell the bitch to shut the fuck up, because they feel the license to say what they want to say because society tells them, well, fat people are losers. And they're ugly, and they're dumb, and they deserve to die. So if you don't tell them that they are big, fat, dumb, smelly fuck, then you're not doing your job as a good human. And so when people come at you, there is a certain element to which you must be willing to stand your ground and say, even as simply as, I'm actually fine. Why are you not fine? There are some very simple things you can say. And if you're a cunt like me, read them to filth. The last time my sister tried to talk to me about my weight, I was like, oh, didn't you have to get a breast reduction because there was a real risk that the silicone was going to leak into your bloodstream and kill you? Like, I think you're doing far worse than I am, bitch. And how much was that surgery? 10K? Oh, I didn't have to pay. I just eat food and live. So, like, I don't know, girl. Like, find your moment. But also, like, yeah.
That was delightfully brutal, James. If you're on the Patreon, you can see the looks of amazement and awe that we had when you delivered that scalding tea.
Oh, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all.
No, don't be surprised. No, but that's the thing. Okay, not to be that person. But, like, okay, people say I'm nice. And I do think I'm nice. But also, I've had to learn in life that you got to let a cunt have it from time to time. Be prepared to protect your peace, not necessarily by having to put up a wall. That keeps people out. Load the gun and aim it at their head. That way, they know they don't have to step forward. Step back, genuflect, bow the knee. Now I can put the gun down. And you see, it's fine. We learn respect in many different ways. Some people have that instinct. Some people got to learn. All I'm saying.
Y'all heard it here first. James supports the Second Amendment. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, yeah, Australia, fucking
right, coming guns ablazing. But in that vein, though, John, I'd like to ask you, what do you say to the what would you like to say here on the pod to the thin fitness essentialists, the ones who would argue, oh well, lean is law.
Yeah, the worms from Men in Black. What are you going to say to them?
No, James, got me thinking, what is my response? And you know what? It happens on like almost every live. There's usually like at least one or two haters that come in, and there's the high road. Just ignore that. Let the comment section deal with that person. Let the mods take them out. But then the second one is to get what I love to do, which is reading people down, and I just get the most patronizing I could possibly be, and just oh wow, yeah, okay, yeah. So this is a barbell, this is a body. Have you never seen have you followed a strong man? Do you know what a strong man? Do you know what the sport is? Do you know what lifting is? Have you been to the gym? What's your total? I'll get that, and and I'll be well, when you lift heavy weights, and just I get very into that teacher time.
Very when a mommy and a daddy love each other.
Let me explain this
much.
to you. Let me explain this to you, little girl.
Yeah, let me get on your level. Crawls on the floor.
Yeah.
Very that. I'd actually be kind of curious, right? Because you'd mentioned about the comments you might get from family members and friends, and obviously from people online. What about other areas of your life? Because what you've gone through is not a small transformation. And in fairness, what many of us have gone through is not a small transformation, but I digress. How has it impacted other areas, professionally? Do you get comments from people in the workplace? Have you had to have adjustments in the workplace because of your size? What does that look like?
For me, I'm going to drag some colleagues real quick. It's going to be fun. It's all in fun. Most of them are retired now, but the older women colleagues that I had were like, oh my God, you're looking really great. Oh my God, can I feel your muscles? Literally. I'm like, okay, of course. And I'm like, damn, these ladies are horny. I thought I'm a horn player here, but shit, they're horny as fuck.
Yeah, the older gals will go up and grab you like a marmot.
They literally will. It's what the... Okay, personal space. It's they've been working in this, in this field since like the 80s and 90s. So it's like, we'll give them a little bit of space, but definitely not for us people that are entering. Like, there's always a personal space boundary that you respect in the workplace. But then so for those of you who don't know, I'm an orchestral musician. I play French horn for the Seattle Symphony, and I also teach horn performance at the University of Washington. And at the symphony, there's like, the brass player contingent, the bros of the orchestra.
The brass bros.
Right? So it's the brass bros, and they're like, looking jacked, King. Like, hey, and they like ask for advice, and even some like violin players are like, okay, I'm getting like pain in my back. Like, do you have anything for that? I'm like, and it's like always in the locker room. They're like, do you have anything? I'm like, yes. Let me show you. All right, stand pigeon-toed, and then like shift your sacral, your sacral like joint back and forth, and it'll fix that. And also do, what did I suggest recently? Because when you're like in playing posture, you're in what is that called? Anterior pelvic tilt. And just, if you, actually, this is a good tip for everyone that like does a sitting job real quick. Got to do my PSAs, right? If you are having like a lot of lower back pain, the best thing you can do is reverse hyperextension at the gym. Look it up, reverse hyperextension. And just doing body weight, doing like 20 pounds, 10 pounds, sets of 12, like 4 sets of 12 in a workout will usually cure that like lower back issue because you're just like so tight, and you like, this is a way to like loosen and strengthen. So pro tips that I've been giving to people for free.
Free.
This is a very valuable podcast episode.
No, this is why you guys need to go over to Patreon and support these, because we're out here doing this for free, for you, for the fans, for the gainers, for the bellies.
Well, and speaking of your technique and everything, like what does your diet and exercise regimen actually look like?
Okay, diet and exercise regimen. So glad you asked. I do an all-day shake every day, all day, every day. I make a big-ass shake. The recipe's on my social channels, and it's like a high-quality protein powder, a high-quality carb powder, because, y'all, the serious mass and like shit that I have been guilty of using in the past, it's bullshit. You need to always mix the protein and carb balance yourself, because with these like serious mass bags from Optimum Nutrition, all that stuff, it's not correct. Like you can never really know like what the proportion is for carb to protein. And so the pre-mixed powders, I am like, they're absolutely canceled. In 2026, we're canceling the mass gainer powders completely. We are mixing our own here. It's like literally just like 2 tubs, and you just, scoop the exact amount that you need so that you know what you're getting, and you're not just like getting a sugar bomb with no protein after your workout. Right? Like you want to have at least that level of control over it. It doesn't have to be super expensive powders, but like having a whey protein isolate and then having a carb powder that you just like mix and get your grams correct. That's my biggest thing for like the diet. And so I do that with a scoop of fruit, a shitload of Greek yogurt, and oat milk. And then I'm not doing creatine right now. I'm doing Crealkaline, which is like creatine, but not as hard on your body and doesn't dehydrate you as much. So I like it a lot. Crealkaline. And then I am also using like a collagen supplement for the joint health. And then I'll make this big ass shake and drink half like for breakfast, and then the other half throughout the rest of the day. And I have like put that other half in like a to-go, shaker bottle. And then usually Chipotle. No, I try to get like a high protein, high carb meal that I know is going to get me like almost 100 grams of protein in it will be great. And because my protein goal is it's 300 grams of protein a day and about 400 grams of carbs. And I try to stay under 100 grams of fat just because my body doesn't use it as well, or, doesn't use it as much. And then and so I use a calorie tracker on my phone. I use Carbon because MyFitnessPal, once they put this barcode reader behind the paywall, I was like, fuck you guys, I'm out. And so I use this app called Carbon, and use it to track my calories. And whenever I'm like on a bulk cycle or I'm trying to, up my calories, I'll track for a few days, and then I'll make sure that I'm hitting everything. And then I'll just stick with like whatever I'm doing. If it's like going out to eat or like, measuring things out, I won't track them like more than one week at a time. But I like build that, those habits with the app first. And then I go on my own and just like assume I'm getting it. If I were really strict and really chasing those, the exact gains, I would be a little bit more strict with myself on it. But where I'm at in my life now, I'm a little busy. So sometimes that has to fall by the wayside. But that's the nutrition. And then the workouts, I work out 4 times a week. Deadlift day, bench day, rest day, squat day, secondary bench day, 2 rest days. And on the rest days, I try to do a little cardio. I try to do a little bit of like learn a TikTok dance or do some steps on a treadmill and get my heart rate above 120 beats per minute, otherwise known as zone 2. And I try to stay in zone 2 for like 45 minutes just to, literally just to improve my recovery. I'm not trying to like drop weight with cardio, which is usually what like cardio is used for, like excess cardio. But yeah, I just do a like very simple steady state cardio on my non-lifting days. And that's my workout regimen.
Now, Tim, doesn't that sound reasonable?
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm sure that I can fit that into my busy schedule of laying about doing fuck all. No, I mean I get all of that, and I just need to I don't know, find whatever thing I have to do in order to actually enjoy it, because if I just keep hating it, I'm not going to want to do it.
Yeah, the best things in life stem from love and caring. With that in mind, John, the sport of powerlifting, how can folks get involved? How can they get into it and support it? I know you've done a few shows yourself.
Yes, well, the sport, it's like a meat-based sport, MEET. And so people will, what I'd suggest is I don't really suggest like becoming part of a federation. I just suggest becoming part of a gym that specializes in powerlifting to get into it, or to find a gym where you know a lot of powerlifters train, and just try to ingratiate yourself and ask them for tips in the gym, and then build your community that way in order to like just get into the sport. And then once you like start wanting to put yourself on like a platform and get your form critiqued and judged, that's when you register for the federations and do meets. So powerlifting meet where you do 3 max attempts on squat, bench, and deadlift all in one day. It's a very hard, very, very like tricky thing to accomplish. And like especially like nutrient timing on that day is like crazy. Just lifting as heavy as you can all day. I mean, it's definitely a fun and interesting part of the sport, and watching people do it on like the national level is like truly incredible. It's like there's some amazing athletes in the sport of powerlifting. But yeah, that's how I'd suggest getting into it. It's just a little gradual. Introduce it gradually. A lot of lube.
A lot of lube, absolutely fantastic. Now, I want to wrap up this particular conversation because Capy said it himself, you've granted us so much fabulous advice. I think so much knowledge, information, so much logic of thought. I think this is fabulous. You know, as Cap says, I think a wellspring of knowledge for anyone really interested in getting started in this stuff. You've already shared so much. If you had to share one final thought, anything maybe that we haven't touched on yet, anything, this is the moment. What do you want listeners to hear in this moment?
What do I want listeners to hear in the moment? I would say, follow me, come for the thirst, stay for the lifting, because you're actually going to get like solid advice and also get that thirst quenched, baby. Get that thirst quenched. Find a queer community in the comments as well. And just like if you share my interests, like you're going to enjoy like following me and like being part of the Hornhulk nation, like as they like to be called. And that's just like, yeah, I know it's just kind of like a plug at the end here, but what it does also, it helps you start to find other people to follow and like a more of an online community. Even though I would say, we're trying to get offline here nowadays more so, but being online sometimes can be a good way to start your journey in the gym and in powerlifting and to get inspired.
Fabulous. And my final question here now, of course, is where can the listeners find you online?
Yes, Hornhulk everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, OnlyFans. I do not have a Patreon yet, but I also do like some coaching services for premium because my time is valuable and I am very busy. And also I have a website, hornhulk.com, where you can get some cool merch like this hat, boom, with the heavy metal logo.
Hey,
very nice.
Among other stuff. So, yeah, follow me everywhere you get your fine quality queer content, and that's exactly where you can find me, at Hornhulk. It's called Brand Consistency.
Fabulous. Well, listen, that's a wrap for now here on Thicc Radio. Please remember to like and subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave us a good review. If you liked this episode, share it with your friends and encourage them to tune in. You can find me on Instagram and BlueSky at stannnum.
And you can find me on Instagram at thiccymouse and Grommr at orpheus.
You can find me on Instagram and other fine social media platforms at the Captain Barra.
You can also find us on social media at Thicc Radio or visit our website at thiccradio.com.
Consider supporting the show by donating to our PayPal or by subscribing to our Patreon, where you can enjoy extra helpings, a behind-the-scenes conversation with this week's guest where nothing is off the table.
And if you send us a letter to thiccradio@gmail.com, we might just read it on the show.
That's all for now, so until next time, bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Let's talk about it.
Thicc Radio is an independent production.
Artwork, media design, editing, and production by James Heinze.
With original theme music by CYMK.
We didn't talk a whole lot about sex, which I was surprised.
Well, that's what the
Well,
second
apart from
half
the
is
innuendo.
for.